Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's other topic, power and influence. Listen, you know what's crazy? Sometimes when we're talking about topics and certain things come up, we don't really look into them, right? What we do is we see what the media comments on, and we never really go a deep dive into what's the problem or what's going on or seeing the forest beyond the trees, if some might say. You get where I'm coming from? So today, I was sitting back, and I had noticed something for the past 2-3 days, right? Something that should have led every single media outlet but didn't. See, today's episode is about power and influence, and I'm showing you, or the Ravens showed you, just how powerful and influential their owner really is. So everybody saw the Liars Luncheon, right, where they're talking about the draft. And everybody kind of knew what was going to happen. There was going to be Lamar questions because guess why? He's the face of your franchise. Why? He's a QB. Why? He's the most polarizing topic in all of sports. And they said they were going to address no questions about said player. You understand where I'm coming from? That means if you said his name, you would be shut down. I know everybody remembers because it was just a topic from the other day, okay? So what ends up happening for everybody that does not know, right, was that a media guy wanted to ask a question, reporter, about, QBs, if everything going on with Lamar Jackson, how does that affect QBs in the draft? And before he can, make out his full question, he was stopped in an instant. Absolutely stopped. And he was embarrassed in front of everybody because they were like, look, if it's a Lamar Jackson question, we don't want it. We're not talking about him. He's not about this. Okay? And if you can't get out. So I say all that to say this. Did you guys notice for all the hoopla around that, there was only like 1 or 2 shows that covered it? Did you see? Because listen, everything with Lamar trends. Everything. When Harbaugh was at the other meeting, at the owners, whatever, and Lamar tweeted, it was viral for like 2 days. 2 days. When he was caught off guard by Lamar Jackson's tweets. It was happening in real time, right? And it was over everything. Did you notice when this thing happened? It was covered by, I think, like 1 show. That's it. Did you notice that? They were so mum and quiet on it. It was almost reminiscent of when the owner or CEO for the UFC, I'm talking about, Dana White, had a physical altercation with his wife in 4K definition, and nobody was willing to cover it. None of the media, all ABC, NBC, CSPN, ESPN, Fox, Undisputed, First Take, Max, The Herd, none of them would touch it. None of them. Do you know why? Because Dana White had inherent influence and power. That's why they did not. That's the only reason. Players are employees. I keep trying to tell y'all this. Players are employees. Fighters, in the case of the UFC, are employees. The employer is the one with all of the inherent power, the gusto, the influence, and he showed it. Stephen A. Smith even came on and said, me and him are friends, and I know what he did was, and Molly Karam, one of the main analysts to be pro-female and everything, wouldn't even take a shot his way. That's what this reminded me of. Yeah, of course it did. The quiet, barely anybody talking on it. Everyone was like, they don't want to talk about Lamar no more. Okay, don't talk about Lamar no more. And that was it. That should show y'all the level of power and influence this owner of the Baltimore Ravens holds. Because if he didn't, they'd have no problem literally throwing them under the bus every chance that they get. Do you see how quickly they're all able and willing to throw Washington's owner underneath the bus? Do you know why? Because he's no longer under the NFL umbrella. They all want him out of there, including the other owners. So they allow, operative word, allow the other media pundits and other things to take pot shots at him, right? And they don't stop him because of his placement. That's how this works. This is why I don't trust anything that comes out right now with the media regarding the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. That's the reason. Because they're showing you just how powerful they really are. And I keep trying to tell people this. Media is such an inherent world power because they don't have to physically force you to believe anything. They could just program anything in the media to keep playing it, showing it, playing audio, whatever else it is. Any which way you delve into media. And eventually you'll see what they are saying. You'll start to agree because it's in your face all day. I keep saying this. That's how the radio used to work. Before streaming, when the world was a simpler place, you still had newspapers. You understand where I'm coming from? When you wanted to listen to a song, a really popular song, you went to the radio. That's how it worked. Even if you didn't like the song, right? What the radio would do is they would play it on repeat over and over and over again. They played at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. All the way to nighttime when it's lover time, when it's you're tuning into the Love Station 98.5, The Below. During those times, they're still playing the song. And you know what it does? It gets in your psyche. Even when you're not thinking about it, it's playing. And parts that you didn't like, all of a sudden is more digestible to you. You're willing to be like, oh, okay, this ain't too bad. Okay, I could groove to this. Let's groove tonight. But not that song. That song was fire. But what I'm saying is that it starts to change your mental narrative, right? Because you start to believe whatever they're putting out. That's why I said already multiple times that Steve Bisiotti is a quiet villain. He is the boogeyman underneath the bed. And people are not seeing him for that. He is. You have to, look, y'all got to understand this, right? Look at all other owners, most of the other owners. You could talk something about them, everything. Do you see when he's around how people react? How they talk about him? When he sets his foot or emotion set in a certain way, nobody disagrees with it. Nobody calls him into question. Nobody dares cross him. There's a reason. There is a reason. And that's why it's so frustrating dealing with not only this team, but a large portion of the fan base of this team. Because you've been conditioned to believe whatever that guy has to say, even if common sense tells you different. Even if it tells you different. Listen, if you're going to call me crazy, right? You can call me all the different words, all the different verbs and adjectives you could use to describe Mr. Nitro, right? But the truth remains the same. That story was a massive story. Could you imagine a player telling the media straight up live or somebody next to him being like, look, a boxer saying, we ain't talking about boxing. We're only talking about this little deal that we got going. And if you don't like it, get out. Could you imagine how that would trend immediately? How it would be on the front things, all your social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. But it wasn't. It was barely talked about. The same thing like the Dana White thing. Same different thing. Same difference. Some of these guys have inherent power and the strongest word, influence. And the Ravens right now are showing you just how influential they really are. No one really seems. See, even when Lamar, because here's the thing, when you show blood in the water, right, the media is sharks. We all know that. When there's blood in the water, everybody knows the media are vicious, man-eating machines that will come and rip you to shreds at a moment's notice when they sense weakness, right? This whole Lamar saga has opened up the Ravens to so many critiques. Think about it. Steve Saunders, Greg Roman, the not paying Lamar after his third year, the inability to surround him with weapons. All those things are facts. All of it. All of it. Lamar opened them up to this. Have y'all seen how they've worded certain things when it comes to the team? Have y'all seen when it comes to, let's say, the offensive line? Oh, he made a little bit of mistakes right there, but it'll be rectified. After he says that, nobody asks no more questions regarding the O-line. Nobody. Did you know that the year when Ronnie Stanley got hurt, the entire O-line, no one else is in the league anymore? None of them. And that's what he's had to work with. Like, my thing is, I'm honest about certain things. I'm honest about everything. It's a gift and a curse. Because sometimes people want you to lie. They just want you to lie. And the way the Ravens run their organization, saying that if you want to deal with us, if you want to cover us, if you want to get paid, then you will say what we want you to say. And if you don't, you won't have the opportunity to do your job anymore. And they're not scared to do it to anybody. They've actually made other people, they've done things to people that have made them examples to other people in the media. But I need y'all to open your minds for just 1 second in your eyes. They didn't even cover it. I don't know how old some people are that watch this, right? I want, in real time, do y'all remember the Tiger Woods drama? Do you remember when the first accusation of his infidelity of, in his relationship and marriage happened? Do you remember? Because remember, no one knew there was any infidelity. Nobody knew. All they knew was that his wife attacked him with a golf club and he crashed his car. And that's all we knew. And then all of a sudden, it was a wave of accusations, a wave of women. And every single woman got their 15 minutes of fame. Every single woman was allowed to go on NBC, CSPN, SPAN, Fox, ESPN, all of them, ABC, and tell their story. Every single one of them for about 2 years. 2 years. And at that time, Tiger Woods was the biggest athlete in the world. Did you even hear 1% of that for Dana White? Did you? No, you did not. Because I keep trying to tell people, a lot of times people regard players by how much sometimes they make, and they think that money always equates to power. No. That is not true. That is far from the truth. Very far from the truth. Tiger was, I believe, the first billionaire or second billionaire athlete, I think after Michael, if I'm not mistaken. And they ripped into shreds at a moment's notice. There used to be kid cartoons for Tiger. You know what I'm saying? If you remember, you'd understand where I'm coming from. Because it wasn't a time like it is now where there was so much social media and other things. You got most of your information either through the newspaper, the radio, or the television set. That's just how it worked. And there was about 3 main news stations where you got your big major news and developments from. That's how it worked. They ran it on rewind every chance they got. You could go to PBS Kids. They were talking about Tiger Woods. Nickelodeon. Tiger Woods Disney, Tiger Woods Cartoon Network, Tiger Woods Boomerang, Tiger Woods. Did you even hear 1% of that for Dana White? No. That's because Dana White, even if he's worth monetarily less than Tiger Woods, has more influence and power than Tiger Woods does. And that's why now you're seeing what's happening with the Ravens. I kept telling everybody, Lamar Jackson is not up against the Ravens. He's literally fighting the system. That's what he's up against. This is not Lamar versus the Ravens. This is Lamar versus the system. That's why I've made jokes about him being Neo. Because whoever has ever watched the Matrix trilogy, not the last one, but the trilogy in its entirety understands where I'm coming from when I say the system. The system sends agents, anything, to bend you to its will. And if you go outside of the system, it will do whatever it takes to destroy you. Listen, I'll say this much too. Lamar, if Lamar's watching this, I hope he's walking on eggshells. And what I mean by that is, any woman he's dealing with, anywhere he goes, be on high alert. Because more now than ever, they'll use anything they can to destroy you. Anything. And they don't even care if it's a lie. As long as they can use it for this time being, they'll take a lie and kill it so bad that even after it's been proved that you were actually innocent, the destruction and all the mayhem's already done. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. So this is why I said that the Ravens are very dangerous, just like a lot of teams. But Steve Bisiotti, not Harbaugh, not EDC, Steve Bisiotti. Look me when I say this. He is the last boss. He is the final villain. He is the mastermind behind everything. And he's the one that is pulling the strings. And if you start to look beyond what the media is showing you, it's inherently, and when I mean inherently clear, it's crystal. And that's another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Hey, yo, look. Thank you all for watching again. You can be anywhere else in the world, but you hear me. You know I appreciate that. I want to say before the day is out, Happy Good Friday. You know what I'm saying? Yo, happy Good Friday to everybody. I hope everybody's safe, having a good day. You know what I'm saying? I am spending time with the family. But like I said, leave a comment. I love comments. You know what I'm saying? I always respond to you guys. You know that. And do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can always get, the upcoming topics from The Wunderkind Show. And at the bottom of the screen, if you want to support the show, is a QR code. Okay? The QR code is to a Cash App for donations to help this platform grow. Okay? You can also find the Cash App in the description of this video. In the description, $, The Wunderkind Show. Also in the description is The Wunderkind Show's new Discord, #Team Wunderkind. And that's for all the Patreon users and everything. It's one of the access points that you will be available to you if you are a Patreon subscriber for this platform. So once again, this is The Wunderkind Show. The show's Nitro signing off. And as always, you guys knows my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yerp!